Welcome back to Tiger Sidelines alongside Dave Matter of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and PowerMizzou.com's Gabe DeArmond. I'm Bo Bayman. And now let's take a look at Toledo. Missouri goes on the road for the first time this year. And Toledo, they played again against New Hampshire last week, won the game 54-20. You see some stats on the screen there. What do you expect out of Toledo, Dave?
Well, it's a team that returns pretty much its entire starting lineup except for the quarterback and the running back, but there's a lot of veterans on this team, 5 senior offensive linemen, so you expect a team like that to be at least pretty tough, not make a lot of mistakes. You know, they didn't go to a bowl game last year, I don't think, but they had a winning record and played Missouri really tough at home. I remember fans were booing the Tigers off the field going into the locker room last year, and they kind of turned it on in the second half. But that was a tight game for Missouri.
And that was the game where Marcus Golden kind of told everybody who he was. He had really, and I'm not saying he's this type of player, but he made a Justin Smith-like play. He tips the ball, knocks the quarterback over, picks the ball out of midair, and then outruns everybody 70 yards. But Toledo put up 660 some odd yards against New Hampshire, and I think honestly those are the numbers Missouri fans were hoping to see last week.
Sure.
You know, they were hoping to look at the box score and say, ran for 300, threw for 360, everything worked. And I think any Missouri fans that are skeptical about this game, it has less to do with Toledo than it does probably with what they saw out of Missouri last week.
And, you know, the thing about playing at Toledo is this is a program that has the reputation for playing tough and playing well against teams from the power conferences. And the biggest reason for that
is on the other side.
Is on the other sideline. What Gary Pinkel was able to do, he kind of instilled a culture there where they were not afraid to schedule games like this, and they played really well, and their crowd got into it. It's not the biggest stadium in the world by any means, but I think it could be a pretty good atmosphere, and Missouri better come in prepared to play well and not just coast through this game like it's just some MAC team.
Absolutely. We talked to a couple of the players. Here's what they had to say about this coming game at Toledo.
I'm not worried about it. I know people are going to be there, and people are going to say stuff that maybe we might not want to hear. I know a lot of people probably don't like me the best from playing each other in high school, but I know what I got to do, and I'm going to block all that out, and I'm going to be ready to go.
Not really. I know yesterday in the meeting, Coach Pinkel said how good that team is at home. Toledo is a good team, and last year they was a good team. And that's what we like, though. We like that. You want to go to a place like that where the fans support them, where it's loud. And, we expect that. We expect it to be a good game, and we're ready. We're going to make sure we prepare this week.
The more games, the more comfortable I'll get. Like you said, it's my first road game, so it'll be a little different traveling and stuff like that. But I think after last week's game preparation, as far as the game itself goes, I'll be a lot more comfortable than I was this week. And hopefully if I get my number called, I'll be ready.
So we hear from a couple of the guys. Gabe, where do you think a couple of spots Mizzou can kind of pounce on and say, okay, this is what we need to do well if we want to get a road win?
You know, I think this is very much just play their game. They're the better team. Toledo on the right day can win this game, but Missouri's a better team. I heard an interview with Pinkel. Thought it was pretty interesting. He was on the radio earlier this week, and he was asked about how did you approach this game when you were on the Toledo sideline. You had Penn State coming in, you had Michigan coming in, and he said when they went to Penn State, he said he called his captains in and said, what do you want me to do? This is a huge opportunity for our program, and they said, Coach, don't treat it different than any other game. Just go play any other game. And Toledo, I think they can try to do that, but that's tough to do. This is Toledo's biggest game of the year. And for Missouri, it's not. That can work either way. You find out about teams in games like this. Missouri last year, why were they so good? Because every game they just went and did what they did. They won by 21 points and took care of business. And so can this team go do that on the road? I think they can answer a bunch of questions.
And Dave, this is kind of a spot for them to mature a little bit. The first road test, wherever it is always a spot for you to get better as a football team.
I think the best thing Missouri can do is start really fast. And the quicker that you can remind Toledo's players and Toledo fans that this is a MAC school taking on an SEC team that won 12 games last year, and so that they cannot believe that they can win that game, the better off you are. If you go 3 and out, if you turn the ball over early, if you start letting some doubt creep in the minds of Missouri players and those Toledo guys, they believe they can win right now. But if they really start believing it in the second half of that game, then you're in trouble. That's where we've seen Missouri lose games like this in the past. But I think if you go out like Missouri did at Indiana last year, remember that game was a pick 'em going into the game. Vegas thought that thing was up for grabs. Missouri came out really hot, really fast, and put that game away early.
Let's go to prediction time. Gabe, we'll start with you.
I think the one caveat is, like Dave said, if this is a one-score game going into the fourth quarter, I think Toledo wins. I don't think it's going to be. I've got Missouri 34-17.
I think Missouri's offense is going to look better and be a little bit more consistent. I've got the Tigers 31-20.
We'll see what happens next week. I'll take Missouri 49-20.
Wow.
Lots of points. Yeah. That's
A lot of Kool-Aid in that cup. A lot of Kool-Aid.
You don't even know if it's Kool-Aid. Hey, thanks for watching Tiger Sidelines. Remember, we're on every Wednesday night, then it's replayed on Friday and Saturday mornings. We're glad you could join us. For Gabe DeArmond and Dave Matter, I'm Bo Bayman. You've been watching Tiger Sidelines right here on MC22.